a brave gnome with the keenest eye, a loyal shrub with the sharpest wit, and a merry tune carried on the wind. Milo and Gooseberry blazed the trails again. Milo Pierce, accompanied by his trusty awakened shrub companion, Gooseberry, the clever and daring trailblazer who leads the way for discovery and adventure in the uncharted wilderness. Return with us now to those thrilling journeys of yore. Milo and Gooseberry ride the trails once more.
The sun hung low over the wildlands, casting shadows across the path leading to Plata del Plomo. Milo Pierce walked quietly, his eyes taking in the landscape. Beside him, Gooseberry moved with a soft rustle of leaves. They walked through the evening light and the mountains rose around them, dark and empty. "Quiet place," Milo said. "For a mining town, I expected more noise." "Yes," Gooseberry said. His leaves whispered in the wind. "The earth itself seems uneasy." They approached the town, and there were miners gathered in small groups. Their faces were hollow, and their eyes held no hope. The once lively taverns stood quiet, the sounds of hammers gone. "Best keep moving," a miner said as they passed. "This place is cursed." "Cursed?" Milo paused. "How so?" The miner looked away. "Accidents. Men lost. Whispers in the dark. The mine has turned against us." "Maybe it isn't a curse," Gooseberry said softly. "Maybe there is something else." "Who's in charge here?" The miner nodded toward a stout building. "Foreman Hayes." "Not that he'll help you. He's lost his spirit." Milo and Gooseberry entered the building. Hayes sat slumped over a desk, eyes hollow. He looked up, frowning at the pair. "Who are you?" he asked. "Milo Pierce, and this is Gooseberry. We heard there was trouble here." Hayes laughed, a bitter sound. "Unless you can banish curses, there's nothing to be done." "Tell us what's happened," Milo said. "Sometimes a fresh look helps." Hayes studied them for a long moment. Then he spoke of the accidents. Cave-ins, broken equipment, shadows in the dark, whispers that chilled even the bravest men. "Superstition spread like fire," Hayes said. "The men are too scared to enter the shafts. The mine is dying." "Fear clouds the truth," Gooseberry said. "Let us investigate. Maybe the cause is more earthly." Hayes sighed. "You can try. But I won't be responsible if you don't come out." "We'll start at first light," Milo said. Dawn came with a pale light. Milo and Gooseberry stood at the mine entrance, joined by a small group of miners. The mine's mouth opened before them, dark and empty. Milo lit a lantern, and its light flickered on the rough walls. "Stay close," he said. "And keep your wits." They moved deeper into the mine, the air heavy with damp stone and something sharp and acrid. "Do you smell that?" Milo whispered. "Yes," Gooseberry said. "Sulfur. And something else." They came to a collapsed tunnel. The rubble blocked the way, but Milo saw something in the shadows. Cuts in the support beams, hidden beneath dust. "These beams were cut," he said. "Sabotage," a miner gasped. "Yes," Gooseberry said. "And here, blasting powder. Someone has been tampering with explosives." A tapping echoed from beyond the collapse. The miners looked at each other, fear in their eyes. "We need to find another way around," Milo said. They found a narrow passage that led them past the blocked tunnel. The tapping grew louder, and voices came through the dark. They crept forward and found a hidden chamber. Lanterns lit the space, and men worked, loading silver ore onto carts. A tall man stood overseeing them. "Edwin Blackwood," Milo whispered. "I should have guessed." "His reputation is well known," Gooseberry said. "He takes mines by any means." Milo motioned for the miners to stay back. "We need proof. If we catch him in the act, we can expose him." One miner clenched his fists. "He's behind the deaths." "Likely," Milo said. "But rushing in now would be dangerous. We need a plan." They retreated, and Milo proposed they split up. Some would alert Hayes and bring the townspeople. Milo and Gooseberry would keep watch. The miners left quietly, and Milo and Gooseberry stayed, hidden in the shadows. Blackwood's pride will be his downfall, Milo said. We must act quickly, Gooseberry replied. The longer he remains, the greater the danger. A commotion came from the main tunnel. Hayes arrived, leading the miners. They moved in, surrounding the chamber. What's the meaning of this? Blackwood snarled. Hayes stepped forward. You're trespassing, Blackwood. Under suspicion of theft and murder. Blackwood laughed. This mine is finished. I'm just taking what's left. Milo stepped from the shadows. We have proof of your sabotage. It's over. Blackwood's eyes narrowed. You meddling gnome. You'll regret this. He signaled his men, and they drew weapons. Tension filled the air. Stand down. Hayes ordered. But the fight began. Gooseberry stepped forward, his branches raised. Enough, he said. Vines erupted, wrapping around the attackers. Rocks shifted, cutting off their escape. Milo moved swiftly, disarming the men, keeping the miners safe. He struck with precision, not to kill but to stop. Blackwood turned to flee. He ran down a side tunnel, a stick of dynamite in his hand, the fuse sparking. If I can't have the mine, no one will, he shouted. Milo followed, his heart pounding. You're mad. Blackwood stopped, turning to face Milo. The fuse burned closer. Gooseberry appeared, his eyes glowing. He raised a hand, and water burst from the rocks, dousing the fuse. Blackwood stared. What are you? He whispered. An advocate for justice, Gooseberry said. Milo lunged, tackling Blackwood, holding him until the miners arrived. They shackled Blackwood and led him away. On the surface, the sun broke through the clouds. Blackwood and his men were handed over to the authorities. Hayes approached Milo and Gooseberry. You saved us, Hayes said. The mine, the town, we owe you. Just be vigilant, Milo said. Don't let fear take hold again. Knowledge and unity are your strength, Gooseberry added. That evening, the town celebrated. The taverns filled with laughter, the smell of stew in the air. A young girl came to Gooseberry, her eyes wide. Are you a tree spirit? She asked. Gooseberry smiled. I'm a friend of the forest and those who respect it. Thank you for saving us, she said. Milo watched, smiling. He turned to Hayes. You've got a strong community. Take care of each other. We will, Hayes said. And you'll always be welcome here. The dawn was bright as Milo and Gooseberry left the town. The road wound through the mountains, the air crisp. Where to next? Gooseberry asked. I heard of trouble near the Whispering Plains, Milo said. Worth checking out. Gooseberry nodded. The Wildlands always surprise. They walked on, the world opened before them. The mountains behind, the plains ahead. Two friends, facing whatever came their way. Milo looked at Gooseberry. Do you ever tire of it? The danger, the wandering? Gooseberry thought for a moment. Every path has challenges. But with a friend, the journey is its own reward. Milo smiled. Couldn't have said it better. They walked on, ready for whatever lay ahead.
And so, Milo Pierce and his loyal shrub companion Gooseberry ride off once more, blazing trails and forging friendships across the uncharted wilderness. Until next time, keep your wits sharp, your mind open, and your heart true, and you just might hear the Scout's tune carried on the wind.